Da 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 da! Finally, we're gonna do a book review on the peculiar sadness of Lemon Cake. Da 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 da! Welcome back to the chaotic little book corner. My name's Acacia. How you guys doing today? I am here today to review The Peculiar Sadness of Lemon Cake by Amy Bender, who I have said nothing but great things about, and I have nothing but high hopes to read more of her books, and I'm excited to read more of her books, and I love her writing style, and I'm super in love with her in general, and yes, all good things. So, let's talk about this. I will link Mercedes' video down below because I agreed with her on quite a bit of the things, and I think I will just kind of elaborate on my own thoughts, basically. So Rose. Rose is a young girl who's about 8 or 9, I believe, when the story begins, and it's on her birthday, and her mother makes her a lemon cake because she has a as she puts it, she's developed a taste for sour things. And when she first takes a bite of the lemon cake, it tastes sad and lonely and bitter and empty in her mouth. And she learns very quickly that she is able to taste the emotions in food. Now, that is kind of an ongoing story throughout the thing. It's mostly about her and her family, but here's what I found fascinating. And I'll come back to the family information in a second. She not only can taste it in her mother's cooking and her father's cooking and the popcorn her brother makes. She can taste it in a candy bar that she opens, and she can taste whether or not the man who wrapped that candy bar was happy. And she can taste it in outside worlds, and she can taste what the person who made, like, she literally goes out of her way to find the most processed food she possibly can because it has no flavor of emotion. And I find that really interesting when you think about the way that food is made, to understand how much a human hand touches your own food and how much you're not thinking about the person that made your food and designed it and put it away and tucked it in so that you could eat it. She really can taste everything from the person who, you know, gathered or who mixed the flour in a cake mix to the person who at one point I think she can even taste like the factory workers mentality, basically. So I really loved hearing about the way that she could taste things that nobody else can, and she gets to know people that nobody else knows and hear things that no one else hears, in not in like a voice way, but in she can hear their feelings in her stomach. I don't think that makes sense, but anyway, I personally loved this. I thought it was beautiful. The writing is astounding, and I picked this up because of a scene that Mercedes read where she's talking about what happens when she reaches out for her brother's hand and she has to take his arm. Excuse me. Because he doesn't like to hold her hand. And I grew up with a younger sister. A younger sister who is 2 years younger, and then I have my adopted sister. But I grew up with my youngest sister. And there's definitely a autistic aspect to her brother, and I don't want to say that that makes him, it doesn't make him bad, it doesn't make him anything, it just gives him a quirk. And his antisocial aspects of himself become very evident when she tastes food that he prepares, because he's so distant, and he's so aloof to feelings and others. And I remember very much growing up with a sibling who was just aloof to kind of feelings, and how much that hurt, and how much it really, and I will admit, I am not the person to be a sibling to somebody who wants their own personal space. I'm terrible at being personal space person. I'm not good at it. No, I want to hug and sit on laps and snuggle and touch, and no, I'm not good at personal space. But my sister needed it. and I was terrible at it. So it was partially my own fault. But it it's really hard to read this book where you're looking, or you're seeing Rose want so desperately to have her brother's affection and attention, and he just won't give it. Not because he doesn't, it's because he doesn't know how, he doesn't want to, he doesn't know what to do. And then she's even more devastated when her mother and him go off and have like these days where they do dates kind of things. Not like weird, but like they have mother-son days. And she gets really hurt by it because she feels like she's getting left out. And the father is so... He's such a list maker, if that makes sense. Like, he makes a list in his head, like, I need a wife, I need children, and I need a house. And then check, check, check. And then he's done. Those things are in his life. They're good, they're fine. We're good, moving on. And he never really goes back and appreciates that he got them. And one point in the book, Rose even points out that her father must be very happy with the order in which they were born, oldest son to youngest daughter, because he's just that type of person where he likes things done a specific way, and he likes things done in kind of an old-fashioned way. And she really can understand that, and she says at one point that her father even feels like a stranger in his own home because he's so separate from the family. And her mother is so sad and so lost and so lonely, and you can tell, but at the same time, her mother misses moments with Rose that she could have that would be more meaningful by just kind of side. I guess I don't even know how to explain it. She almost forgets to care about what Rose is saying. She listens, but she's not hearing. And so when Rose begins to explain to her that the food feels empty and tastes empty, instead of listening to the words, she just assumes that it means she missed an ingredient. And Rose is trying really hard to explain it, but she can't because she's so young. And it's just hard to listen to that. And then the other thing that was really, at one point, there was one point in this that was really painful for me, which is Rose goes to the nurse in the school, and the school nurse immediately starts harping on her about eating disorders and stuff. And it's really heartbreaking to me that this little girl is just reaching out for help and having so much trouble and really struggling to find a place and feeling lonely and lost, and nobody's really listening except for George. And George is her brother's best friend, and she just has so much admiration for him and so much love for him because he's just so kind to her, and he seems to be the only one who just is honestly kind and listens. I gave this 5 stars. I thought it was stunning, beautiful. The writing is exquisite, and it feels like it just feels like you're in a different world and a different family. And it was beautiful and stunning, and I recommend everyone should pick it up. Amy Bender. I already have An Invisible Sign of My Own by her that I will be reading very shortly, and yeah, this stole my heart. Rose stole my heart. I am so in love with this book, and I will definitely be picking up more of Amy Bender's, and it was a 5 out of 5 star read, so I will see you guys in my next video. Thank you all so much for watching. Bye, guys.